Check it out, just take a chance. It's time for celery pants. It ain't. Hey, welcome back. So I'm here today at the Charles Krug Winery in St. Helena, which is part of Napa, California. And as you can see behind me, it says the winery is closed today. So then why the heck am I here? Well, let me give you a hint. So here's your hint. This railroad crossing at the Charles Krug Winery, this happens to be the northern terminus of the Napa Wine Train, which is something that I really wanted to ride. And so today, I am not going to ride the Napa Wine Train because the Napa Wine Train, as of today in the off season, during the week, costs almost $300 for me to ride it, which is basically the cheapest that it is ever. And that's too much for me. So since I can't afford that, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna walk the 18-mile course of the Napa Wine Train so I can see everything along the route, and hopefully I'll see the train as it passes me a few times today. So come on, let's check it out. So the Napa Wine Train, it's a tourist experience that runs from Napa, California to St. Helena, California, which is kind of part of the Napa region. And it's a train ride, 18 miles each way. It goes up to St. Helena, turns around and goes back for a round trip of 36 miles. And you can buy different packages where they serve you like food or wine, you know, costing different prices, and depending on what time of day, if it's in the evening, more romantic, more expensive, or on a holiday, more expensive. And as I mentioned, it's very cost prohibitive now. It used to only be $200 per person about 3 or 4 years ago, but now it's gotten exorbitantly expensive and cost prohibitive, which normally I wouldn't want to mention as it's kind of a downer, but when something becomes so egregiously capitalistic, I'm sorry, I go off on a little bit of a tirade, but I promise I'm done now, because it is a cool thing and I would totally want to do it, you know, get to ride a train, have some food, see some beautiful sights. If you drink alcohol, I drink some wine. And so it's fun. And so that's why I'm doing this, because, you know, I still want to participate, but I can't afford it. So this is what I came up with. And so I hope I can show you some cool things as we go along the way. And hope we get to see some cool trains. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. To be honest, I'm not looking at the walking part like it's a bad thing. I like walking long distances. Gives you time to think and take more time to see the sights, and I think it's going to be a good time. So if it wasn't clear yet, if I didn't make it clear yet, I'm doing this all in one day. I'm just walking all 18 miles right now. And there was something else I was going to say, but I forgot. And then the other thing is, there may be a couple places where I have to like jig and jog just a small amount away from the train tracks and then cut back in, not for any significant distance. We're talking like at the longest stretch, like a quarter of a mile. And then the other ones are just like a few yards, a few hundred yards or so at the most, because I don't want to get arrested for walking on private property or walking on train tracks. I would love to walk the whole route on the train tracks and then just step out of the way of the train, but that's really illegal. In fact, just the other day, we got a ticket in the mail, or a warning, from Union Pacific, because when the gate went up at a train stop, even though the gate was up, because the lights were still going and it was still dinging, and we got a warning for that, which is like everyone does that. But apparently they have cameras at these things now. So I'm just trying to be careful, because if I'm not single, I can't just get arrested. So yeah, I'm gonna be careful, and I'm gonna do my best to stay as close to the tracks as I can for you and for me. So, all right, let's have fun. So right now, as you can see, we're just going through like kind of like downtown St. Helena. Just kind of walking behind some of these buildings. Not so majestic here. All we've traversed so far was back there at Charles Krug, where that was one of the spots where I had to like kind of cut in a little bit and then cut back out. But most of the route, there's a bike path that's called like the something vine trail. It's like a bike trail, and then the rest of it, there's generally sidewalks and things that skirt right along the tracks. So we should be real close the whole time. Do you guys recognize this? This is from one of my vlogs I posted just the other day. There was like a airplane propeller engine outside the front of it. It was like a museum. Go back and watch that one. I think it was the geyser one. We're on like a little narrow catwalk trail now. It'd be super cool if the train came by right now, but I don't think it is. So, hey look, there's Gott's roadside burgers and fries. I don't know what the rest of it is. I don't know why I point this place out. I've literally talked about it now, I think in at least 3 vlogs. It's just a place. It's probably good, but I've never been there, and I don't know what my obsession with it is in all these vlogs. Also, I just want to apologize, even though it's not really my fault, but I still want to apologize because it's the product that I'm putting out here. For the excessive amount of road noise probably that will be in a lot of this. The tracks run like right alongside the road, so it's just going to be hard to cut out any road noise. Check this out. It's like a Chevy car pickup truck. Hopefully I got that. I was backwards cameraing it. Not sure about my backwards camera filming skills. Well, apparently I'm not sure about my frontwards camera filming skills either. So anyway, it might be noisy, sorry. So the tracks are right there. We're walking here. Vineyard over here. And I'm back here. Look at this cool old motel. It's got a very classic motel sign with the no vacancy. Looks like here's the office here. It's got this, I don't know, is that mid-mod or Art Deco kind of vibe with the neons. Looks like a pretty cool place. I'm walking out of St. Helena right now at Sulphur Springs Ave, so you could check out this hotel if it interests you, if it suits your fancy. It's a little bit foggy today. We're sprinkling a little bit in the morning as we're coming up here, but it's supposed to be otherwise I think a pretty nice day. There's so many pretty things around here. The hard thing when you live in a place without intentionally doing anything wrong or anything is you start to get used to things. And another reason I like to do these walks is because I feel like it helps me see things that I don't see, if you understand what I'm saying, when I'm driving. like these trees that I'm walking under right now. But they like planted them all in these rows, and I'm not a tree person. Can't think of the name for that right now. Whoa, look at that. We're here. So that's where that cool building was. But anyway, I was saying I'm not sure what these trees are. They're just some kind of oak tree or what they are. But anyway, they're very nice specimens. They're very beautiful trees. How they're planted in this row across from these vines. And there's mountains back there, which you can't see right now because of the fog, but it's also pretty. It's also beautiful, and I want to appreciate it. I want to show other people so they can appreciate it, because I'm thankful for things that we can appreciate. So here's a famous one right here, Sutter Home. I know a lot of you have probably heard of that, because I don't know anything about wine, and I've heard of that one. So there you go. And here's the other side of the street. That must be like the storehouse, and that's the blue collar side on the other side, and this is the white collar stuff on this side. The tracks are just on the other side of the street there. I just walked past these garbage cans at Flora Springs Tasting Room. Those were the best smelling garbage cans I've ever walked past in my whole life. I'm just saying, that might be a place to go to get the food that they didn't put in the garbage. Now that I'm walking out here, I feel like another potential advantage of riding the train is that there's so much road noise out here. Like, if that's really bothersome to you, if you're on the train, it would almost be like the train noise itself would almost be like white noise, dulling out all the car sounds, and maybe like more pleasant to listen to, giving you like a overall better experience. But I mean, I'm walking, so it's not like I'm like chilling and relaxed. I'm obviously walking, so whatever. The sun is starting to come out a little bit. Starting to clear up some of the fog. You can see the mountains a little bit better. All right, this is where the train tracks cross the street, which means that we need to cross the street. And there's signs that say the cyclists may use the street. But as you can see, these cars out here be aggressive. Sorry to bark at you. All right, I finally safely made it across the street. Look at this house. It looks like it has prisoner stripes. I wonder what it did. I figured out what the prisoner house did. They gouged out this eyeball. Ah! Look at this one. The Prisoner Wine Company. I don't know why it's called that. Is there like a reason that has to do with prisoners behind why it's called the Prisoner Wine Company? I don't know. If you're gonna walk 18 miles, it's important to stay hydrated. So this has been my recent obsession. Great Powerade. I started drinking this when we took our trip to Hawaii. I don't know why, I just got a hankering for it. I never really drank it before. It was just like aliens or something broadcasted to my brain that I should drink it. It gave me a craving for something I'd never even had before. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I love it. I've been drinking it all the time since. So that's what I've been chugging down today to stay hydrated. There's also this soda company called Live Soda. It's like a probiotic soda or something. I like it because it's got like almost no sugar in it. But it still tastes like soda. And they have like cola, root beer, maybe like wild cherry. And they recently added a grape flavor. I love that one too. So don't none of you buy that because I don't want them to sell out. Unless you don't live in California. Because then it probably won't affect me. But all you Californians, don't buy any of my grape soda or my grape Powerade. No, I'm just kidding. I can share. You can have some. Now I'm passing by God's winery here. Alpha and Omega. The winery of the Lord God himself. They got sheep outside. Look at those sheep. Hey, buddy. Or ma'am. I see you watching me. You're probably watching me thinking, what the heck is that idiot doing? Where's his car? Where's his wine train? Where is he pointing the camera right now? All right, bye, sheep. I probably have like 18 3/4 miles left. See you later. I gotta keep changing what side of the road I'm walking on so I don't get mowed down. I haven't quite gotten to the spot yet where they have the wonderful sidewalk for me to walk on, so I just duck in like this in the smooth dirt parts when I see them. And otherwise I just figure out which side has a big enough shoulder or an area where I can step off safely so when cars are passing. Haven't seen any trains yet. When I checked this morning to see how much one would cost so I could quote that figure for you, which we're not talking about, it said 11:30, so I'm not sure if that was the only one today or if there was anything earlier that was just like maybe sold out. I don't know. Maybe we won't see anything till closer to noon. It's probably only like 9 o'clock. So got a while to go before I see a train. I keep having these visions, like Final Destination style, where I do something totally ridiculous, like step on one of these sticks and mangle my ankle and then fall over in a way that my head falls into the road and then a car drives by and pops it like a melon, or some like woodchuck comes out and trips me, and because it's been a while since I took my woodchuck self-defense class, I'm unable to thwart his attack. I fall in the road. Back there was a sewer grate, and the water was like bubbling up, overflowing out of the sewer grate, kind of like Ghostbusters style. And it had been doing that, so there was like a bunch of moss growing on it, so I had to be careful when I stepped on it that I didn't slip. following the road, getting mowed down by a truck. Gotta be super careful out here on these mean streets of Napa. It's a hard knock life. I'm being facetious in case it's not clear. All right, here we go. Not the wine train, but we have some railroad paraphernalia here. We got a rail car from the United States Mail Railway Postal Office. We also have, oh, next time, instead of walking like a dingus, take the wine train. It's just take the wine train, that's all. It's for everyone. There's an old rail station too. I don't really know where I am yet, besides the fact that there's that BV tasting. We're not testing for BV right now. BV tasting. I guess I'm in Rutherford. There's the Rutherford. There's the Rutherford Fire Department. So that must mean this is the Rutherford train depot. Finally, there's like a small break in traffic. Check out this winery here. Peju? Pehu? I don't know. Look at these trees. Does anyone know what kind of trees these are? They're so interesting looking. I also wonder, what do they look like when they bloom? I've never seen anything like that. Is that from like a different part of the world? Let me know if you know what type of trees these are. They're cool. All right, here comes some more cars. Look at that, for sale. Have you ever wanted one of these things? Well, there's one for sale out here in St. Helena, I think I'm still in. Come grab it. Get that B-52 ejection seat while you're at it. I was also going to mention another thing you'll see out here somewhat often. Kind of alluded to it in my soaring over California video. Is like hot air balloons. Especially on the weekends or around the weekends. There's like a few places around here that'll do hot air balloons, and you can go for a hot air balloon ride if you're brave enough. Which I am not. I am not brave enough. Wouldn't that be fun? Look at this. They have a winery in their front yard. Maybe fun's not the right word. That might be a lot of work, but it would be cool. I think. I say out of ignorance. I'm starting to get a cramp. I just had to circumnavigate this construction fiasco without getting mowed down again. There's a lot of me thwarting off attempts to mow me down on this adventure. You can't mow me down. I'm too safe. That's not, by the way, that's not a challenge. I don't want anyone to come for me, try to see if they can actually mow me down. Please don't do that. I would prefer not to be mowed down. I prefer my pre-mown down self to post-mown down or post-mortem self. Look at this winery up here. Let's get a little closer. See whose it is. Turnbull. It reminds me of something. I'm thinking of multiple things. I'm not sure which one It's triggering. Thinking of like, sounds like a Pokemon or turnbuckle, like a wrestling ring or a boxing ring. What else? Turnbull. What does that sound like to you? Ugh. It's car shrapnel. Someone was too busy figuring out what turnbull was, not paying attention to their driving. By the way, looks like I'm winning today. Looks like choosing to travel today, zu Fuß, for all you German speakers out there, was the right choice. Look at all these cars just waiting in line, not making any forward progress. Meanwhile, I'm just trucking along. By the way, no chance of rain today, so I'm wearing my walking shoes versus my sweet, awesome, cool boots that we bought together. Just wanted to let you guys know, didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like, oh, we went on that adventure together, you're not even wearing them. Don't you like the boots we bought together? I love the boots, you guys. Thank you. I'll cherish that memory forever. I'm so glad we got to share it together. And I will wear my boots on every appropriate occasion that arises. But today, there was no chance of rain, even though I told you that it sprinkled this morning. The weatherman lies. So I wore my walking shoes because they're lighter weight. I always feel like I have more to say, so I end on like that up thing. So they're lighter weight instead of saying they're lighter weight, because I had nothing to follow that up with. All right. Robert Mondavi. It's closed. It says it's going to open spring 2026. So if you are a Robert Mondavi enthusiast, might want to wait till the spring. Also, we saw his kidney stones the other day at that museum that I also referenced earlier in this video. Another reason to go check that one out again. I think it's the geyser video, Robert Mondavi's kidney stones. Look at down here. Not that truck, with flowers. I would go over there, but there's a humongous line of cars. It looks like there's tulips. I just noticed this winery over here. That one back there, behind the AT&T truck. That's the one that, there's this road here just in front of this tree. It like runs back that way. That's the road that you take to see the site where they had the hot air balloons all up here in the air for soaring over California when they filmed it. That's where they were. You can like, if you go back and watch it, it starts basically like right at this corner, and then they kind of like fly away from like where the camera is now. There's like a triangle of land. It's basically like a person's house right on that corner. Anyway, that's where it is. That's what I'm rambling about right now. That lady was saying something to me, I think, but I was busy talking to you guys. Bergstoffer Vineyards. I think I have some debris in my shoe. This place is pretty cool too. It's like all bunker style. There's a few of them around here that are kind of like this. They're like built into the earth for obvious reasons. You know, keep the wine cool for free, basically, at the expense of the earth. At the expense of the earth. Not really. The earth keeps them cool for you. For freeze. But I think it was like called Wright. I think it's a winery. I'm not totally positive. But anyway, it looks neat. All right, we finally made it to another city than Napa. We've left St. Helena finally. We've made it to Oakville. Here's the Oakville Mercantile, the Oakville grocery store. Here's the train tracks. Still no train. All this traffic is still from that construction boondoggle that we navigated ourselves through back there. Every once in a while I get like this respite of cars rushing behind me because they're, you know, stopped at the construction thing, and then the floodgates open and they all come rushing down the road. Finally, a respite. Look, no cars that way. Nothing right this way until this car and van get here. What a beautiful respite of car-free delightfulness. Savor it. Savor it, it's still ours. Look at this sign. It's kind of funny how they leave it open-ended. Trucks, not recommended. You can do it, but we don't recommend it. So we still got some clouds over here, but they've really started to lift on this side. They're hanging on. They want to hang out here in the Napa Valley, which is understandable, but they got to go on. And this is what we're doing. We got 3 miles to Yountville, 12 more miles till our destination. By the way, I just figured out all this time when I'm struggling with the whole Napa, like, what is it? What is it? I just said it, it's Napa Valley. There's Napa the city, and then the whole thing is called Napa Valley. Look at these mossy bricks, these mossy stones. This is somebody's house. That's awesome, good for them. Look at this one too. We got a train crossing like right on their driveway. Neat little house off in the distance there. Got another winery here. What does that say? Morlet? Morlet, maybe? That almost looks like a cemetery. Those aren't gravestones. I don't know who I'm impersonating right now. Clearly, it's an old man who's very keen about gravestones and vineyard vines. It's lonely walking 18 miles by yourself. You start to do some really weird, spooky things, like talking to yourself in a stupid voice. You guys, I've like drained 50% of my battery already, and I've got 12 miles to go. I've gone 6. Fortunately, I brought I brought some backups. There's so much car shrapnel on the side of the road. Poor cars. Has anybody... Has anyone seen Portlandia? Because that's what that was a reference to. Has anybody seen... There's like a Disney cartoon, like the ones from like the 40s and the 50s. There's one about this guy gets a car. It's about the car. And it keeps getting handed down, and you know, eventually this sedan and its guy turns it into a roadster in like the 60s or something. I don't know. Anyway, it gets crashed. Anyway, they like have like these cars in the junkyard, and they're all so sad. They're anthropomorphic. I think that's the second time I've used that word in a vlog. Anthropomorphic cars. They're all sad because they're all crashed up in the junkyard. It's a great cartoon. That's what it makes me think of when I see these car parts. Think of all the poor little injured cars. All right, my mind's back to being blank.
Will Celerypants make it to Napa? Will he get blacked by traffic? And what the heck are these things? Stay tuned next week for... Wait, not next, tomorrow? You sure? Okay, stay tuned tomorrow for the next episode of Celerypants Walking the Route of the Napa Wine Train.